Hi, I'm George Christensen and welcome to the audio version of the Nation First blog. And today's topic is Trump raid is 100% political. Nation First questions the FBI's raid of the former president's Florida home. Over the past 2 years, police forces around the Western world have acted in a manner that's highly political and questionable, deploying violence against otherwise peaceful protesters, arresting people for simply posting their views on social media, and fining people for being too far from their homes without reason. So it shouldn't be surprising that as the pandemic masquerade ends, we still see police forces being used for political and questionable means. Still, the news that Mar-a-Lago, the home of a former president of the United States, was raided and apparently occupied is something that's reminiscent of a third world tin pot dictatorship and not a nation that is supposed to be the bastion of freedom and liberty. Indeed, we've seen the military dictatorship in Myanmar place former President Aung San Suu Kyi under house arrest and in the past 2 weeks execute political dissidents, including a former member of parliament. These actions have been near universally condemned. In the Philippines, former Senator Leila de Lima, an outspoken opponent of the former Duterte regime, was placed under house arrest. Senators in the Philippines are still calling for her release. And in Venezuela, the former president of the National Assembly, Freddy Guevara, was arrested for treason last year, but released later following international pressure. Now the Biden administration is at it, with the Federal Bureau of Investigations raiding the home of a former president who is odds-on favourite to take on Joe Biden and reclaim the White House in 2024. The FBI raid was officially about allegations that unclassified documents were taken by President Donald J. Trump and or his associates from the White House when they left office. However, such claims are completely ludicrous given that the president has the power to declassify documents. President Trump himself put out a statement declaring that such an assault could only take place in broken third world countries. Sadly, America has now become one of those countries, corrupt at a level not seen before. Those sentiments were echoed by popular conservative commentator Dan Bongino on Fox News, who said, "This is some third world bull right here." The raid has been juxtaposed by Bongino and others against the lack of substantial or similar action by the FBI against Hunter Biden of laptop infamy, Hillary Clinton of email infamy, and the associates of Jeffrey Epstein of didn't kill himself infamy. In fact, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, in which Trump's Mar-a-Lago home is located, called the raid another escalation in the weaponization of federal agencies against the regime's political opponents, while people like Hunter Biden get treated with kid gloves. DeSantis is right to say the FBI and its parent agency, the US Department of Justice, has been weaponized to go against conservative political activists and Trump loyalists. To date, the FBI and the Department of Justice has gone after Trump administration staffers Stephen Bannon, Peter Navarro, former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, Trump campaign strategist Roger Stone, InfoWars host Owen Schroyer, and almost 900 patriots who protested against election fraud at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. on January the 6th, 2020. Many of those aforementioned January the 6th protesters have been locked up for months, but are yet to see the inside of a courtroom to prove their innocence. There are 2 lessons out of the raid on President Trump's home. First of all, the FBI is a spent force. Should Trump or someone in a similar vein such as DeSantis reclaim the White House, their first action should be to disband the organisation and start afresh. This will happen. Already, conservative commentator Candace Owens has issued the call for the FBI to be, quote, legally and formally dissolved, end quote. But until the day that the political beast that J. Edgar Hoover breathed life into is vanquished, there is one more lesson. And it applies not just to citizens of the United States, but to those right throughout the Western world where police forces have been politicised. That lesson comes from the Republicans on the House Committee on the Judiciary. If they can do it to a former president, imagine what they can do to you. That's all for today. God bless you, your family, and our nation, and protect us all from evil. Take care. Signing off. George Christensen.